It's easy to blame Daniel Jones for the Giants starting the season just 1-2 when he's the quarterback and he got his big payday during the offseason. I don't think he should be blamed very much. He's in his 5th season now and the Giants have still yet to really put him in the best position to succeed with poor coaching until last year, a bad offensive line, and a below average receiving core. There is still plenty of football left to play this year and the season is far from over.
This ain't over!
There are red flags causing me to be concerned about this season for the Giants though, but even with Daniel Jones throwing for just 2 touchdown passes while throwing 4 interceptions and having a passer rating of just 70, the guys around him deserve way more blame in my opinion. Let's start with coaching. That was a huge strength for this team last year and Brian Daboll did not take long to win me over as a first-year head coach for how quickly he made a rock-bottom team a respectable team. Now I'm worried about the coaching. This team has lacked discipline and hasn't looked prepared going into games. This stuff falls on coaching. I also thought last game, even though the 49ers are a great team that's been to the NFC Championship the last 2 seasons, after Jalen Hyatt set the tone for the Week 2 comeback against the Cardinals, he didn't even get 1 target throughout the game against the 49ers. I couldn't believe that. Jalen Hyatt needs to be involved if he was drafted in the first place to improve the wide receiver core that's been a huge weakness for the Giants for years. I really hope I don't have to feel stupid about how much I raved about Brian Daboll last year by the time the season's over. I'm not ready to call him a bad coach yet after he did such a great job last year. Just so far he's not off to a great start to this season. The offensive line is still awful. How much longer is it going to take to have an offensive line that's at least average? It sure doesn't help when the one bright spot on the offensive line from last year is hurt. Mark Lewinsky was horrible in the first 2 games of this season. He wasn't good last year. Then Shane Lemieux gets brought in and he made Mark Lewinsky look like an all-pro. At least Evan Neal is getting better, but he's still not where we want him to be as last year's 7th overall pick. Hopefully he can at least be close to that by the end of the year, but he's not a rookie anymore, so he doesn't deserve the leeway that he got last year anymore. His hands have improved, but he still needs to work on his balance. He's gone against elite pass rushes in the Cowboys and 49ers, true, but as a 7th overall pick, he's supposed to be able to handle those elite pass rushes. Honestly, how can anybody put the majority or even half of the blame on Daniel Jones for the 1-2 start when he has to run for dear life as much as he does? He's been pressured on 47% of this year's snaps. He's never had a good receiving core to throw to. At least try to get Jalen Hyatt involved to have any chance of changing that. Also, none of his 4 interceptions this year are his fault. His 1 interception that didn't bounce off of one of his receivers, he threw under some pretty heavy pressure. This defense is also trash, and it's not like Daniel Jones can do anything to fix that since this isn't basketball where you have to play both sides of the ball. They can't even tackle a cardboard cutout. They have yet to create 1 turnover this year. This was an area where the Giants were supposed to be significantly better at after drafting Deonte Banks, signing Bobby Okereke, and trading practically nothing for Isaiah Simmons, yet they have sucked in the first 3 games. In no way do I think it's time to label Kayvon Thibodeau a bust this early in his career, and he sure looked promising in the games he played last year, but so far this season, he's been a letdown too. All this said though, the season's not over, and there's still plenty of time to turn things around.
Then over till it's over.
However, let's not be like Joe Judge and say the first 4 games of the regular season are an extension of the preseason. They're not. These games count the same as all the other regular season games. They are in the past though, so hopefully the Giants can move on from their mishaps against the Cowboys and the 49ers. The Cowboys with Trayvon Diggs have a spectacular defense. They still have Micah Parsons, who's a generational talent though, and the 49ers are Super Bowl contenders. They were in the NFC Championship in each of the last 2 years. They deserve a ton of credit. It's just clear as day that the Giants are still not Super Bowl contenders or even close. They just don't have what it takes to beat the elite teams yet. This upcoming game against the Seahawks is an absolute must win. The Seahawks are traveling across the country and the Giants have extra rest. The Giants have to capitalize here, but this game isn't a game I expect to be a walk in the park either. The Giants have a tough schedule this year. They have to face the Eagles twice and the Cowboys again later in the year. After this game against the Seahawks, the Giants are playing the Dolphins, who have yet to lose a game, and then the Buffalo Bills, so it's time to step it up now. Now, of course, I hope all goes well from here on out and Daniel Jones has the breakout year that I anticipated, but knowing where the Giants are now and knowing the Giants have a tough schedule for the majority of this season, there is room for concern. I just don't think Daniel Jones is the reason this team can't compete with the best teams in the NFL. If there is any good news with the Giants right now, it's that Saquon Barkley's injury is not one that'll make him miss the season. He'll only be out for a couple more games, but the Giants really need him now since he's their main source of offense. The Giants also definitely need Andrew Thomas back as well for any hope at all with that offensive line.
We need your help!
So that's where I'll wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be much appreciated, especially if you're on board with me that Daniel Jones doesn't deserve as much blame as some people are giving him. If you could please consider subscribing and turning on the notifications, that'd be much appreciated. Welcome to the team. If you're already subscribed, thank you for supporting as always, and the links to my social media are down below. Also, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to reading every single one of them. Here's my last video and the video that YouTube recommends. I'd certainly appreciate it if you click either one. Hopefully the Giants do turn things around and have a season as good or better than last year. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.